One of the first major signs that will plunge our world into dark times is a war so great which humanity has not witnessed before.
The next event that is about to occur is the Great War. Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said, when Jerusalem is center stage and flourishing, built up, which is where we are now, then look for the Malhama. The Malhama is a great war. The Malhama is not just a great war. It's a war like no war has ever been. That 99 out of every 100 of the combatants will die, will be killed. The only way that 99 out of every 1,000 can be killed is if it's a war with weapons of mass destruction. NATO is preparing for war with Russia.
This war has been planned long before the evil forces that rule the world today. These same evil people caused World War I and World War II. We can prove this claim by a letter that was written by an American general, Albert Pike.
A 33-degree Mason and a top leader of the Ku Klux Klan, Pike was also believed to be a Luciferian. He claimed he was able to summon Lucifer at will as the Grand Master of the Order of the Palladium.
In 1871, Pike allegedly sent a letter to an Italian political activist named Giuseppe Mazzini, in which he describes a curious dream about 3 world wars. In this letter, Pike apparently outlined specific events leading up to World Wars I and II. Additionally, Pike pushed for the organization of communism, Nazism, Zionism, and other international movements as tools to escalate these conflicts. According to this letter, the Illuminati will provoke a third world war by creating religious conflicts in the Middle East. After this war is ended, the letter claims that nihilists and atheists will create bloody turmoil, leading the world's disillusioned masses to follow Lucifer.
Today, we can see clear preparations being made for this war. The Georgia Guidestones is a granite monument erected in the United States. This monument has 10 commandments for the world, but to this day, nobody knows the author of these commandments. One of the commandments is to maintain humanity under 500 million people. This proves that satanic powers are behind this, and to achieve this, they will cause a world war, and they will surely succeed in achieving this. Because remember that our prophet said that 99% of the people fighting will die in this war. But why do they want this war? After this war, the world will see the advent of the false Messiah, the Antichrist, the Dajjal. In order for the Dajjal to arrive, they have to prepare Israel to make his arrival.
That there is a fella, a mastermind at work, who wants to rule the whole world. He is the one who says a man could marry another man and get a marriage certificate. You know who the fella is. And eventually a man will stand up in Jerusalem and declare, I am Al-Masih, the Messiah. But he would not be Al-Masih, the Messiah. He would be Dajjal, the false Messiah. In order for him to achieve his objective, for Israel to rule the world, he has to make Israel very, very big, like the United States. But that's not possible. Israel cannot expand. Israel is surrounded by the Arabs. Forget it. Or the world has to become much smaller. Which one will it be? Which one will it be? Yes. The answer is the world will have to become much smaller. And that's why we're going to have nuclear war.
The main goal of World War I was to dismantle the Islamic State and establish a Jewish Holy Land in Palestine.
1914, talk begins in the British cabinet at the highest levels of promising a Jewish homeland to the Zionists. The Zionists were a movement, a group of influential, powerful Jews in Europe, and the goal of Zionism was the establishment of an independent Jewish homeland, preferably in Jerusalem.
But after Israel was established, the majority of the Jews were against a Jewish Holy Land.
American Jews, by and large, scoffed at the idea of an independent Jewish homeland. They thought this is ridiculous, we're happy where we are, we're acclimatized, we love America. There was no notion, and they did understand it would cause problems and whatnot.
This is why they used Hitler to plunge the world in a second world war and commit a genocide on the Jews.
Jews in America did not support Zionism until basically Hitler and World War II. That's when they felt the need to have an independent Jewish homeland. And this is well documented. This is not some type of theory. This is a known fact.
World War III will be caused to reduce the world population. This will make it easier for them to rule the world. This is their new world order, with the Dajjal as their ruler.
As they say to the world, we must come back to religious values. This is Pax Judaica. But their oppression will be greatest of all, because they want to rule over everybody.
So you must be thinking why they need Israel to make the arrival of the Antichrist possible. The Satanists want to build their third temple in Jerusalem. They need this temple for a global satanic ritual which will allow the Antichrist to emerge. The Antichrist is just a human like us. He is one of the descendants of Prophet David. This global satanic ritual will give him superhuman powers because he will have control over all the jinn, just like Prophet Solomon had authority over the jinn.
Allah says we gave him control over all the jinn kind, those that could build so quickly magnificent buildings, and those that could dive into the oceans and extract from it anything he wanted and he asked for. Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he had also the authority to tie up these jinn in such a way that they would be slave for him, doing whatever he wants, all tied up in a line in a uniform fashion. So he had them in his army, and he had the wind in his army, and he was a king at the same time and a warrior. They came down with magic, two angels, Harut and Marut, where in a place called Babil or Babylon. And the reason they had to teach a few people what it was all about was so that they could distinguish between the miracle of a Nabi and the magic of magicians. When they were taught, they knew very well that this is magic, and what Sulaiman alayhi salam has come with is the miracle of a Nabi. They knew that what they are purchasing, the deal that they are making, will render them in such a condition in the Akhirah that they won't have any portion left for them in the Akhirah. If you take a look at Babylon, up to this day, it is the headquarters of magic. There are people, whether they belong to the Illuminati or whether they belong to the Freemasons, part of the same thing, who worship the devil completely, and the devil tells them, we will give you two things, power and kingdom together with everlasting life. The seat of magic is in one of two places. You find it in Egypt where the pyramids are, because there was a lot of magic at the time of Pharaoh. The temple of Solomon is spoken about. Allah's peace be upon Sulaiman. His intention was brilliant. He in fact abandoned everything, but he had all the books under his throne. They were there. Sulaiman alayhi salam built a temple. It is reported that that tabut, the Ark of the Covenant, was also kept there to this day. And they are saying we were looking for the Ark of the Covenant, and in the process they are destroying the masjid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the haram.
They will place this Ark of Covenant in the third temple, which will give the Dajjal his powers.
When Musa alayhi salam was passing away, he gave a certain little box known as a tabut. It was a box, the Ark of the Covenant. In it were some of the fragments of the tablets upon which the 10 commandments were written, and a few items inside there. We don't know exactly what, there is dispute as to what it was, but for sure it was a reassurance and a comfort to the people who had it. And when they opened it, they felt very secure, they felt very calm. And every time they fought, they took that ark with them. And when they fought, they won the battle. Whenever the ark was with them, in it, it had the tablets that were given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Musa alayhi salam.
They will use this divine knowledge for evil. Their third temple will be built at the same location as the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Preparations have already begun for the building of the temple.
In Jerusalem, King David established our capital 3,000 years ago. In Jerusalem, King Solomon built our temple, which stood for many centuries. In Jerusalem, Jewish exiles from Babylon rebuilt the temple, which stood for many more centuries. We are in Jerusalem, and we are here to stay. And today, the United States of America is opening its embassy right here in Jerusalem. Thank you Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises. President Trump, and thank you all for making the alliance between America and Israel stronger than ever.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء
بعضهم أولياء بعض ومن يتولهم منكم فإنه منهم.
To advance the truth. The truth and peace are interconnected. A peace that is built on lies will crash on the rocks of Middle Eastern realities. You can only build peace on truth.
وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون.
Those of you who are watching Bible Prophecy and the plans to rebuild the temple, I have now in my hand a piece of modern prophetic history, if you will. It is one of 1,000 silver-plated temple half-shekel coins minted in Israel in recognition of Donald Trump's declaration of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. They are to be used in the third temple. On the front is Donald Trump with King Cyrus the Great, who 2,500 years ago saw to it that the Jews would rebuild their ancient temple. Friends, this is prophecy coming true in my hands. What incredible days we live in.
America's ambassador to Israel has come in for criticism after he was seen posing with a rather controversial gift. David Friedman was presented with a photograph of one of the most sacred places in Jerusalem. But the image had been altered to show the Jewish third temple on the site where the Islamic Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock are currently situated. The third temple is a biblical reference to a new place of worship, to replace an ancient one which was destroyed.
It is the holiest place that we have right now. The third temple is going to come right here. Okay?
So without a doubt, you believe that
there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Oh, it's going to be very, very, very interesting, tomorrow.
يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد ومن الناس من يجادل في الله بغير علم ويتبع كل شيطان مريد كتب عليه أنه من تولاه فأنه يضله ويهديه إلى عذاب السعير